Hi, boys and girls. We're talking about Jonah. God called Jonah to go to Nineveh to preach and tell the people to repent and turn a new way. And instead of listening and obeying God, he ran away from God, went completely the opposite direction. At this point, he got on a big boat, a big ship, and he's headed to a city that is as far away as he can get from what God has asked him to do. He's on that boat and he fell asleep because he's so tired from running away from God. We're at story number 234, Storm at Sea. Jonah soon fell fast asleep. The shouts of the crew as they got ready to sail and cast off the ropes did not wake him up. At first, the gentle rise and fall of the ship on the sea soothed his tired body and mind. But before they had gone far, a strong wind began to whip up the water. The waves rose higher and higher. They came crashing against the sides of the ship and breaking over the deck. The sailors worked with all their strength to try to keep the ship on course. In desperation, they threw some of the boxes that were on board, the thing they were called the cargo, what they're taking from here to there. The whole reason they're on the ship in the first place. They threw it overboard to make the ship lighter and easier to control. But the ship's strong timbers, the wood that was making up the boat, seemed thin in the teeth of this storm. Soon they knew they would break up and they would all drown. The terrified crew began to cry out to all their various gods and idols for help. The captain went down below and found, to his astonishment, that Jonah was asleep. He shook him by the shoulder, and he urgently woke him up and shouted at him, "Wake up! Pray to your gods and your idols. If this storm goes on and on, we are lost forever." On deck, the sailors talked and they planned. "I reckon," said the sailor, "we've got a villain on board," one said. "The gods are angry with him, and they have sent this storm to punish him. Let's draw lots to find out who is to blame." That means they were like tossing a dice or playing rock, paper, scissors, trying to figure out who they thought was the one who made this storm happen. The rest of them agreed that was a good idea. The names of everyone on board was written down, and one name was pulled out. The name that came out was Jonah. "Own up to it, Jonah," they said. "Tell us who you are and what you have done to bring such trouble on us." "I am a Jew," Jonah answered. "I worship the God who made the heavens and the earth. And you are right. I have sinned against God. I am his prophet, but I have disobeyed his orders, and I am choosing to run away from God." "That's terrible," the sailor said. "How can we put things right with your God and stop this storm?" "You should throw me overboard," Jonah said. But the sailors were kind. They did not want Jonah to drown, so they made one last try to get the ship to land by taking on the oars and rowing hard. But they were helpless against the force of the storm. They would have to take Jonah at his word. "Please, Jonah's God," they prayed, "don't blame us for throwing him overboard. We don't want to harm him. But it's our only hope. And by the way, it's you who sent this storm." Then they picked Jonah up and they tossed him over the side. At once the wind began to die down. The waves subsided and soon the sea was calm. The sailors on board knelt down on the deck in awe and they prayed to Jonah's God. And they said, "We believe that you are the only true God. From now on, we will serve and worship you alone," they promised. Well, that was pretty good. Now, where is Jonah at this point in the story? I know you know what happens next, but where is he right now? He's in the water, isn't he? Well, we're going to leave him there for till tomorrow. See you tomorrow, boys and girls.